All right, we live. Yo, what up? What up? Answering your fantasy football question. Hello. Yo, what's up? Should you start Mooney or Julio Jones? If Julio plays, I would go with Julio. He would be the person I would want to start. Hopefully he can make it through the game, but he would be the person that I would want to start, yeah. Sup, dude? Right on time. I saw it, Ids. Hey man, came straight to YouTube when I saw it on TikTok. Yo, appreciate you. What's up? Taysom or Cousins? I would go with Cousins. I know that he gets Pittsburgh, but I'm not trusting Taysom with that bum finger. No thanks. And he's just not. Yo, what up? What up? Hey, how's it going? Answering your fantasy football questions. Let's get it. It's early in the week. Just take into consideration that mainly let's get, if you have any waiver wire pickups you need to ask, anything like that, go ahead, feel free. I'll give you my early picks for who I like this week, but obviously that can change during the week, so make sure you always hit that subscribe button, hit follow, come back later in the week to make sure that's who I still want to go with. All right. Would you play KJ Osborne over OBJ or Terry? No, I wouldn't. I would go with both those guys. Pick 3. We got Zeke, Daryl Henderson, Mattison, Kamara. Man, definitely Mattison. For sure, Mattison. Then it's really who's the healthier out of those other running backs. Ideally, I would like to go with Kamara and Zeke is who I would like to go with, but we have to see what happens throughout the week with the injury report and everything. Start 2, we got Fournette, Javonte Williams, Connor. I would go with Fournette, and if Melvin Gordon misses again, I would go with Javonte. If Melvin Gordon does not miss, I would want to go with James Conner. Conklin or Freiermuth? Freiermuth, what up? Yo, what's up, Adam Sandler? Hey, man, pick 2. We got Patterson, Montgomery, Elijah Mitchell, or DK for my RB2 and flex. Thanks. I would go with Patterson, and I would go with Montgomery as of now. Now, this could definitely change depending on what we see with Elijah Mitchell throughout the week. Tyler, my man, what is up? I hope you had a good week. Appreciate it, Siklan. I hope you had a good week as well. Lost my fantasy matchup last week due to the 3 fumbles between Eckler and Mixon. I lost by 2 points, sadly. That is rough, dude. I feel for you. That's rough. If DeAndre Swift is out, Devontae Freeman or Chase Edmonds? Right now, had to see exact. This is another thing. Like, does Chase Edmonds play? I would probably go with him if it's PPR, but once again, check back later in the week to double check that. Elijah Moore or Mooney for the rest of the season? I'd rather have Elijah Moore. Jets suck. I mean, so does Chicago, but Chicago looks like they want to run the ball a little bit more. I just believe in Elijah Moore's talent. He's uber talented. Pick 3 wide receivers, or no, just pick 3. We got Terry, Aiyuk, J-Rob, Bateman, OBJ. Terry, Aiyuk, J-Rob. As of right now. Double check once again later in the week. Make sure. Yo, what's good? What up, Ryan? Thoughts on Henderson? I think that he's going to be fine. Once he's healthy, he'll be good. Packers or Denver's defense? I need to look that up real quick. I want to say Packers play. Yeah, Packers. I would go with Packers. Or Chargers, I would go with Packers. Foreman or Hillard? Foreman. Thoughts on names? Who? Whose name? Standard scoring. Who do I pick up tonight? Conklin or Ricky Seals? I would go with Ricky Seals. Russ or Kirk? I'm going to go with Russ. Let me double check this, actually. Let me double check, though. Yeah, I'm going with Russ. Should I trade DK and Hollywood for Hill and Mooney? I would have Waddle as my wide receiver too. Yeah, I would do that. Who do I flex standard scoring? AJ Dillon or Pollard? I want to say Pollard, but come back. Let's see what the injury report looks like with Zeke and everything. But I want to say Pollard. Pollard or Van Jefferson. I would go with Van Jefferson. I don't like Pollard that much. If Zeke is not practicing again, then I do like Pollard. We have to see what happens with Zeke here. I would go Van Jefferson. I would go AJ Dillon over Pollard as well if Zeke is practicing in full. But this is something we have to check throughout the week. Godwin, Chase, Hopkins, Elijah Moore. I would go with Godwin, and I would go with I would go with Chase. I know it's been rough, but I would still go with Chase. Taysom Miller, Aaron Rodgers, Dalton Schultz or Dawson Knox, Saquon or Connor. I would go with Connor. Tyler, I'm depressed. I got out of practice yesterday after running suicides, and I started cramp. Then I checked my phone that Keenan Allen has COVID. Yes, he does. He can still play. He just has to clear. He has to have 2 negative tests within 24 hours of each other. It seems unlikely, but he still has a chance. I like the name change to TikTok. It sounds more professional for some reason. Anyways, hey, appreciate it. Anyways, should I start Foreman, Cooks, or Aiyuk in my flex? I would go with Cooks. I know it's been rough, but with Davis Mills as the quarterback, baby, fire up Cooks. Hill or Rodgers? Rodgers. Should I trade DK in Hollywood? I already got that one. Yeah, I said yeah. Dak or Taysom? Dak. Full point PPR rest of the season. Any of these better to stash over Jerry Jeudy? Devontae Parker, Osborne, Julio Jones. No, I would keep Jerry Jeudy. I think he's the best wide receiver out of the group. Claypool, Connor, Kirk, or Shepard? Connor. I lost Swift, Waller, Debo Thanksgiving weekend. Oof. Yeah, right now hopefully Elijah Mitchell plays this week. I'm really banking on Elijah Mitchell to play. But there's a bunch of leagues where I already have, Alvin Kamara already out. DeAndre Swift, literally have him in every single league. He's killing me right now. It's the worst time too. This is the worst time to lose him. Good morning or good evening, Tyler. Yo, what's up, Sammy? Pick 2, we got DJ Moore, Brandon Cooks, Van Jefferson, Mike Williams, also Russell Gage. I would go with DJ Moore and Mike Williams. I have Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, CD in my lineup. I noticed Keenan Allen has COVID. If he hasn't cleared yet, should I put Mike Williams in over them? No, I wouldn't. I would start those other guys personally. I would go with the other guys. Should I fire up J-Rob this week? Yeah, it depends on who else you have. Hey, Tyler, my team is pretty stacked at wide receiver, running back. Do I trade away Chubb for Mitchell? Our running backs are mostly Monty, Saquon, Swift, J-Rob, and Chubb. Honestly, okay, this may sound crazy, okay? But I would trade Chubb for Elijah Mitchell right now. Elijah Mitchell he played on 80% of the snaps. He's officially a bell cow running back. Chubb is not. Chubb plays, the early down work. Chubb is the better football player, but Elijah Mitchell, his situation right now, absolutely, I would rather have Elijah Mitchell right now. Obviously, hopefully he plays this week. That's the only thing that's kind of like, if he plays this week, absolutely. Tennessee or Minnesota's defense? Tennessee. Do you think Kamara, Swift, and Waller are playing this week? I don't think Swift is going to play. I don't think that Waller's going to play. I think that Kamara has the best chance, though. So I did not hear you. Did you say Pollard over? No, I want to go with AJ Dillon. I want to see what happens this week. Saquon with the injury report with Zeke. So, but come back and ask me that later. Saints D or Cowboys D? The Saints defense. Cooks, KJ Osborne, Julio at wide receiver. Cooks. Mason did you see Eckler is questionable because he has bumps and bruises? I did see that, but he'll be okay. Mason, Crosby, or McManus? I'm going with Mason Crosby. Should I be worried about starting Hopkins during the playoffs? I have Mike Williams and Renfro that I could put in the spot. No, I would keep firing him up, to be honest with you. Elijah Moore, Mitchell, your favorite running back besides Eckler and Najee? Elijah Mitchell is solid. He's been really good. Kamara will probably play. Yeah, I think so. How do you think Pat Freiermuth will do? I think he'll be okay. It's just, once you get to that range of tight ends, it's just kind of like, Hopefully he scores a touchdown. And real quick, if you haven't already, do me a big favor, hit that like button if you're over on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to my link tree. My link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. So profile, link tree, YouTube channel, come on over and get your questions answered. And yeah, let's get it. Tomorrow I'm going to have mock draft. The first round come out. I'm going to do my first mock draft for 2022. First mock draft for 2022, baby. And I'm going to do it for the consensus. What I think the consensus 1 through 12 is. It's very tough, though. I'm telling you, this is very tough. Like, who is going to be the second overall pick? I don't even know who the second overall pick is going to be next year right now. Tyler, Vegas is predicting Pats and Bucks for the Super Bowl. I called it a couple weeks ago. Well, I'm sorry to let you down, but it's going to be the Bucks versus the Steelers. You think Abdullah gets majority of the workload? No, I don't think so. I think that Chuba Hubbard's going to be the guy this week, and then going forward, it'll be Amir Abdullah because it's going to be in passing situations as they play tough teams. Chuba Hubbard or Pollard this week. It's had to see what Zeke's status is. I would probably lean Chuba, though. When AJ Brown comes back, should I start him over Aiyuk in the playoffs? Yes, I would. Should I start Kyle Juszczyk or Jonathan Taylor? That's a close one. Jonathan Taylor. Actually, he's on bye week. Well, he's a bye, so I guess Juszczyk you'd have to start. Deontay Johnson is actually top 15, maybe top 12. I still think Keenan Allen is better, though. No, I think Deontay is amazing. I think Deontay is so good. I'm sorry. Knox or Gesicki for the playoffs? I would go with Knox. Dontrell Hilliard for Javonte Williams? Or Javonte Williams. Anything on Allen? No. Has to pass 2 negative COVID tests. We probably won't know. I think it's unlikely he plays this week. That's just my take. Thoughts on James Robinson and Zeke this week? I have to see what's going on with the injury reports. Mitchell could be a late season 2019 Raheem Mostert silly just because, yes, exactly. That's why I will say this about Elijah Mitchell, though. Elijah Mitchell is also good at football. But yes, the San Francisco system here is very friendly to the running backs. That's why if you have a guy who last week played 70%, this past weekend, well, I guess technically 2 weeks ago, so week 12, played 70% of the snaps, and now has just played 84% of the snaps, or 80, I forget what it was. It was 80%, 80 plus. That is the definition of a bell cow back in one of the most friendliest systems in football. Fire up Elijah Mitchell. He's a RB1 for the rest of the season, as long as he plays. JT, Henry, Eckler, Mixon, Najee. You think that's how it's going to go? Yo, Tyler, week 13 was brutal. Eckler, McLaurin, Kirk, OBJ, Aiyuk, man. Oh, what? All of them were kind of like busts a little bit? Yeah, I know. It was a pretty good week. I had a pretty good week in fantasy. I won't lie. A lot of my players were pretty solid. Would you trade Chubb for Tyreek? I would. DK, Foreman, Freeman. Listen, I'm still going with DK. I'm still firing him up. Hendo or Sony Michel. As long as Henderson's healthy, I would go with him. Hey, man, what's up? Any news on Kamara? Not yet. We'll know tomorrow a little bit. Thursday is going to be the big day. Javonte is a league winner if he's an RB1. Here's the thing with Javonte. I think that once Melvin Gordon comes back, he's still going to be involved in this offense. Javonte's making his case next year. No Melvin Gordon. Javonte Williams next year is an absolute bona fide RB1. And he's probably going to be drafted, I'd say, in the second round is where he's probably going to end up falling. Maybe like early, I think second round. Depending on how he finishes off the season, if he does take over this backfield by himself, he could definitely fall into the first round. But I think he's going to be a second round guy next year. And he's going to be an absolute steal because the dude has top 5 potential. I'm telling you right now. He's an absolute stud. Would you pick, he honestly is, and I'm a Steelers fan. Javonte Williams is the best running back in this draft class. He's the best running back in the draft class. Would you pick up Osborne, Hillard, or Foreman? I would pick up Foreman. Donta Foreman. Tyler, I beat the guy I was tied with first. I want to thank Justin Jefferson, David Montgomery. They were studs. Top 5 playoff defenses. I listed them on my TikTok. It was, well, that was under 50% rostered. So this is under 50% rostered. It was like who was it? New Orleans, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Seattle, Miami, and also San Francisco's up there. But they're under 50% rostered. I was never so scared to play Aiyuk, but then he did nothing. Yeah, he was kind of a bust. So it was a little bit disappointing. Tyler, if I win this week, I could potentially get bye week. If I lose, I could potentially miss the playoffs. So I'm going to need your big brain analysis. Let's get it. Yo, want to see the standings in this league, dude? Look at the standings in this league. Look at this. This is... Look at this, all right? So you got this team right here. Ryan is the loser. He's 7-6 right now. He's in 4th place. He could end up missing the playoffs. But look at that. It goes from 4th place, 7-6, to 5th, which I'm in 5th. I'm 6-7. Literally, second most points scored, 6-7. It is what it is. And then look at this massive group of 6 and 7, all the way down to 11th. This is the definition of as close as it gets. Whoever wins is in the playoffs. It is so close right now. It is so close. Definitely, if I win, I'm in. But it's close. This is close. How late early will J.K. Dobbins go, or Gus? I think J.K. will be more of a 3rd round guy. He was going too early, I thought, this year. Robinson or Chuba Hubbard? Robinson. Tyler, I commented on your video about Jerry Jeudy before. Are you sure I shouldn't drop him? No, I will not drop Jerry Jeudy, no. Do you think Eckler and Mixon bounces back this week as they're both at home? Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be okay. It was just one of those weeks. They'll be all right. I don't think Eckler was that bad. Eckler wasn't that bad. The fumbles hurt. Conklin or Muth? Should I pick up Benny Snell and Justin Jackson in case Eckler or Najee go down? I honestly, no. Well, yeah, you should, but I'd rather pick up other guys. Like, I don't like those backup running backs because I don't think that Justin Jackson's going to be the guy, and I also don't know if Benny Snell is actually going to be the guy, or if it's going to be Kalen Ballage. So I don't feel great about either one of them. And also, neither one of those players are the player that Najee is. So this offense is so bad right now. Najee's literally like, he does all he can. Benny Snell won't do shit on this offense. He'd be so bad. He would fall down after 2 yards every single time. Hopefully forget about Cam Akers and I can get him in the 3rd round. That's true. I do think that some people... No, I do think there's going to be that group of guys where it's going to be like J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, where they're going to be injured guys, where they're coming off of the injury and how well are they going to do. There's going to be a bunch of question marks, and I think that there's a group of guys ahead of them. Like, I would definitely be taking Javonte Williams next year over him, Antonio Gibson over them next year. I would even rather take CMC over them. You see Najee finding the end zone Thursday? I do think there's a chance. There's a chance anytime that he touches the ball so many times. Robinson or Hubbard? Robinson, you helped me clinch the playoff round bye for the... Thanks for all the help this season. Hey, I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. Appreciate it. Thank you, and keep it going. Let's win that ship. That was so weird. Eckler fumbled twice. Gallup or Cooks? Cooks. Mooney or Sutton? Mooney. Julio or Jerry Jeudy? Jerry Jeudy. Josh Allen's last run for 5 yards cost me to lose. No, for real? Oh my gosh, that is so bad. Oh, that is heartbreaking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, Jonathan. Those are rough. Gibson is looking really good. He is looking really good. Finally cracked 20 attempts against the Ravens. Who did? Najee? Yeah, the thing with Najee though is you don't even care about the rushing attempts. What you care about is the receiving. The receiving's beautiful for Najee. Could Cam Akers come back this year? I think for the playoffs, like for their actual playoffs, I think it'd be stupid for them to have him come back. I like if I were them, I would just wait till next year. Pick 3. We got Jamaal Williams, Zeke, Patterson, Hillard. I would go Jamaal Williams, Zeke, Patterson. Drop Devontae Parker to hope that Hasty is the starter for 1 week. Yeah, I do think that if you're looking for a guy to add this week, I do think that JaMychal Hasty is like a sneaky little add this week. Because you could have Elijah Mitchell not clear concussion protocol. You have Jeff Wilson right now who's banged up. Had a flare-up with his knee. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I don't know if he's going to be out this week, but that's obviously not good. Usually those guys that have these flare-ups with their knees after post-surgery usually have to go back in and get it scoped. Now, it could wait till the season's over, but it depends on the swelling and everything. I'm no doctor or anything like that. I'm just kind of talking on, what I've seen in the past for other players with the knee injury. So totally, I could be totally wrong, but that just kind of seemed what it's always been like in the past. But I don't know what the full extent is, but I do think that there's that sneaky ad of JaMychal Hasty this week. Do you think Eckler and Mix bounce back at home? Yes, I do. I do think they'll bounce back, Sickland. They'll be fine. L to anyone who started Mac Jones, that was rough. Mitchell or Hendo, bro! Bro! I mean, I already answered that question. I already said Henderson. It just depends on the health. So, come on, my guy. Be paying attention so you don't get, I don't have to answer your question twice and you got to use exclamation point question marks 20 times in chat. Like, just pay attention. There you go, bro. I don't think Urban Meyer likes James Robinson. No, I just think that James Robinson's banged up. He was a very he was an actual true game time decision. And I just don't think he's fully healthy. Henderson irrelevant next year? Yeah, as long as Cam Akers back. I think that Henderson's not very good at football, to be honest with you. Sorry, jumped out. Muth or Conklin? Muth. I would go with Muth. Russell Gage or Devontae? I would go with Who is that? I would go with Russell Gage. He's playing pretty well. Don't add Hasty. Add the GOAT Braxton Berrios of the Jets, baby. Braxton Berrios. No, if Alvin Kamara comes back this week, man, I don't know. I think, like, out of Swift and these kind of guys, I do think that he has the best chance to come back. I think he comes back, but we have to see. Miles Sanders is so injury prone, looking really good Sunday. He did look really good. Where do you rank Aaron Jones? I'm going against AJ Dillon. Where do I rank Aaron Jones this week? Very early stuff here. Have to take a closer look into this. And I also want to make sure that Aaron Jones is, like, actually practicing in full. And if he does, I'm still ranking him as a borderline top 10 running back this week. It also depends on what happens with Melvin Gordon. Does he play this week? Chase Edmonds, is he actually playing? You know, what happens with Zeke? So there's a lot of people that could definitely change very early in the week, but I do think Aaron Jones is going to fall into the perfect role. I don't think a lot of people are looking at this AJ Dillon situation prior to the bye week and, you know, they're freaking out, but, like, this is good for Aaron Jones. It's not the best for Aaron Jones. Obviously, you love to see him be a true bell cow, but, like, he was never a true bell cow in the past. And he was still a top 5 guy. I think that this is good for Aaron Jones. It keeps him fresher throughout the game, and it gives him a really good ceiling with the receptions. That's where he's making his money. That's where he's going to make his money, is the receiving game. And he's also still is the guy around the goal line, or the guy in the red zone. Don't freak out about Aaron Jones. Barkley's stock. I also had Adam Thielen in my lineup. He got injured first drive and got me 0. My opponent was celebrating his injury because he won by 2 points. Yeah, that's rough. That is rough. Barkley's stock is falling so much right now. I think he retires in the next 3 years, to be honest with you. I hope he just goes to a better team. Gosh, the Giants are trash. Where do you see ETN going next year, and how good do you think he would be? I really didn't like Travis Etienne this year. It's just hard to see how this offense works with, you know, him and James Robinson. To me, I don't honestly know where he goes. He's probably going to go in the middle rounds next year, and I don't really have much interest as long as James Robinson's there. Is Eckler one with JT on bye? No, I don't. It maybe in full point PPR. No, not for me though. If Alvin Kamara comes back this week, Alvin Kamara for me is going to be one. Depends on Alvin Kamara. If he's practicing in full, yeah. Eckler is going to be like top 5 easily, top 3. I would say top 3, yeah. Right now, Alvin Kamara, if he comes back and he's practicing in full, will be my RB1. Honestly, Alexander Madison's going to be my RB2. I mean, do you watch Pittsburgh? They get gashed on the ground. They get gashed. They suck. MAZ with the $1 donation. Yo, appreciate you, brother. He's the guy I kind of yelled at. I'm sorry. Another pick 3. We got Debo, D-Hop. Did you have a question at MAZ as well? Or did you just want to donate? Hey, came in late, bro. Oh, okay, it's all good. It's all good. Ask your, if you have another question, go ahead and ask it. I'll look for it, MAZ. Maz. I guess I could say Maz. Pick 3, we got Debo, D-Hop, Mooney, Aiyuk, Gage. I would go with Debo if he's back. I would go with D-Hop, and I want to say Aiyuk, but honestly, I'm going to go Mooney. If Debo's back, Aiyuk will definitely move down my rankings, and Mooney will go up. So Debo, D-Hop, and Mooney. But if Debo's out, then I would just start Aiyuk. That TikTok was cute where you were dancing, Tyler. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you. Trey Lance QB1 for the 49ers next year? Absolutely, he will be. You think Eckler is a little underrated compared to Jonathan Taylor and Henry and those guys? Eckler is a monster. I don't think he's... I think he's fine. Like... No, like, the thing with Eckler, I think that he's a good running back, but he's not he's nowhere near Jonathan Taylor, in my opinion. I think that Jonathan Taylor is... Like, in terms of fantasy football. Because Jonathan Taylor, I just think is a better running back than Austin Eckler in real life football. And then you also get the fact that he plays on the Colts, a really good running team, and just runs it in when they get close. I don't think he's on anywhere near that level, in my opinion, to Henry or Taylor when those guys are healthy. Aiyuk, Kirk, or Freeman? I would go with Aiyuk if Debo's out. I would still... Ask me that later in the week. For right now, though, I'm going with Aiyuk. That could definitely change, though. That's going to be really close if Debo comes back this week. Gage or Van Jefferson, full point PPR? I would go with Gage in full point. Do you know how many points Giants are giving up to running back position? I can look at it right now. They should be near the top 10, though. I would say they're definitely in the top 10. The Giants are currently giving up... They're giving up the 8th most. But I feel like they've been stingier as of late. Yeah, they've been stingier as of late. They gave up... So they gave up 23 points early in the season to Sony Michel, Ezekiel Elliott. Since then, they've given up 14 points to Daryl Williams in Week 8. Leonard Fournette only had 10. Boston Scott had 12 in Week 12. Really, that's it since then. They've been stingy. They've gotten stingier. Early in the season, they were giving up a decent amount of points through the first 6 weeks. Since then, they've been pretty stingy against the running back. So that's kind of why the Giants' defense is honestly playing pretty well as of late compared to what they were in the beginning of the season. So that's why Eckler's matchup looks better on paper when you're looking at it, but as of late, the Giants have been playing better. And they've played against some pretty good running backs. You think Jamar Chase bounces back this week? If T. Higgins has an ankle injury. If T. Higgins is going to be out, absolutely Jamar Chase will bounce back. But it kind of looks like T. Higgins is kind of the wide receiver one in this offense. He just looks like the better wide receiver right now. But and the thing is Jamar Chase is still young. He's still a raw prospect. He needs to work on his route running ability a little bit. He was never that good in college. He more relies on just his God-given speed and athleticism to get open, which is an absolute freak in that department. But he should have had a long touchdown this past weekend. But he's kind of... I just think that T. Higgins right now is a more complete wide receiver. But he's also a second-year player. T. Higgins is really good. T. Higgins is a stud. But it also benefits when you have a guy in Jamar Chase also takes the pressure off, especially over the top. Claypool or Freeman? I would go... Dude, listen. Claypool's trash, and that's coming from a Steelers fan. I'm gonna go with Freeman. Van Jefferson or Aiyuk for the playoffs. And what if Trey Lance plays soon? Thank you. I would go with... If Debo's out, I would go with Aiyuk. Otherwise, I would go with Van Jefferson. And if Trey Lance starts, really, I hope he doesn't. I hope Jimmy G does, just because Trey Lance did not look very good throwing the football. Thoughts on Jacobs rest of the season? RB1. Usage is there. No more Kenyon Drake. Josh Jacobs, fire him up every single week at RB1. Pick 3 to start, please. We got Pollard, Barkley, J-Rob, A.J. Dillon. I would sit Pollard as of right now. Got to double check with me back later in the week just to see what's going on with Zeke. Standard scoring, pick a tight end. Conklin, Ricky Seals, Higbee. I have OBJ as my second wide receiver. I would go with Ricky Seals right now. Ricky Seals. Higgins is a teenage pimple, reliable. He is reliable. Higgins is a stud. I really like Higgins. I just think he's a really sound wide receiver. He is like the ultimate complement to Ja'Marr Chase, though, in the sense that he's just a bigger. He's not really like. He's got a thin frame. He's like AJ Green, honestly, is really what he's like. He's like AJ Green. He's just a bigger guy. He's able to win the contested throws. He's a solid route runner as well. He's basically AJ Green, really, is what he is. I wonder what his comp was coming out of college. Was it AJ Green? I wouldn't say he's exactly like AJ Green, but there's definitely parts of his game that reminds me of it. His NFL comparison was AJ Green. I knew it. I knew it. NFL comparison was AJ Green. Kirk did lead the number of targets with 3. D-Hop and Hurts had only 2. Yeah, well, he didn't even throw the ball 20 times, did he? Right? I don't think Kyler threw the ball 20 times. I think was it even 15? It might have been 14. I could be wrong now. Let me double check here. They just didn't throw the ball. It was a weird kind of game. Like I thought when I was looking at it, because I wasn't watching it at the time. I was just watching, the box score. 15 times. He threw 15 times. It was just a weird game. Like, I don't understand how they put up 33 points. It was a weird kind of game. They didn't have a whole lot of offense. The Bears must have I didn't watch the game, so the Bears must have given him good field position. Burrow, Taysom Hill, I would go with Burrow. Roethlisberger throws the ball right to Claypool, and the dude falls on the ground. That's exactly what happens every single time. Roethlisberger throws the ball to Claypool, and it's either bounces right off Claypool's hands or he falls on the ground. It's one of the two. If I was a betting man, I would say falls on the ground. That's most likely what was happening. If you compare anyone to AJ Green, it's got to be Gallup. Gallup is a stud, but I'm saying like build-wise, and also T. Higgins is a really good 50-50 guy too. Gallup is a really solid 50-50 guy too. But just like the build for T. Higgins and his play is definitely reminiscent of AJ Green. Tyler, I'm heading out for the night, brother. I put in all my claims for waivers. Thanks for your advice. I'll catch you next stream. As always, good night. Yo, peace out to clan. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by, brother. What defense you like for the rest of the way? I made a TikTok on the defenses. I should put that on YouTube. I'm going to put that on YouTube. But I made a TikTok. It's like, a few seconds long, just defenses that I like. The defenses these were under 50% rostered. Obviously, if there's other defenses out there that are higher, not as, that are over 50% rostered and they're available, like one of those defenses may be better than these defenses. But the New Orleans Saints, the Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, who else was it? Miami Dolphins, San Francisco, and there's one other team. Who was the other team? Seattle. Seattle was the other team. In that order. Thoughts on J-Rob and Chubb and Zeke this week? Really have to see what the injury report looks like. But these are just guys that are banged up right now. Chubb should be good. I like Chubb. But J-Rob and Zeke right now, you didn't like what you saw out of them. Just because of the injury. The injury is right now not good. Thoughts on J-Rob? No, I already got that one. Van Jefferson or Pittman going forward? Pittman for me. Julio, Osborne, and Foreman all available. Can you rank them? I would go with Foreman, Julio, Osborne. Unless you need a wide receiver more, then I would go with Julio and then Foreman. Should I trade for a wide receiver or should I stay patient with AJ? I have buy on lock. I would stay patient with AJ. Carlos, but Gallup is stronger for those close grabs, in my opinion. He's looked really good. Gallup has looked really good. I'm excited to see where Gallup goes next year. I highly doubt the Cowboys re-sign him or use a franchise tag on him. So I'm excited to see where he goes next year. It's going to be exciting to see. I have the Bucs defense who play Buffalo this week. It's tough. So I want to add either Saints, Seahawks, or Chargers for week 14. Can you rank those? I would I would go with, it's really close between the Saints and Seahawks. I like both of them, but I would go with the Saints, Seahawks, and Chargers is how I'd rank them. Is Rashad Bateman start worthy with Watkins back? No. No, he's not. He's a guy that I made a TikTok as well. Like, what you want to be doing at this time of the year, I put it on YouTube as well, is dropping those kind of guys. Okay. You're not going to play Rashad Bateman unless you're in a really deeper league. Then yeah, you'll start him. But if you're in like a 10-team, 12-team league, you're not going to start Rashad Bateman. And if you are, chances are you're probably not going to win if you're starting Rashad Bateman. So what I would be doing is, if you have to start him, yeah, okay, fire him up. Don't feel good about it. But what I would be doing is adding your backup running backs right now, a backup defense, and just playing your fantasy football matchups like that, rather than trying to worry, should I start Rashad Bateman or not? Just drop him. 4 interceptions. Way to go, Dalton. Dalton, yeah, he's not good. Russell Gage or KJ Osborne? I would go with Russell Gage. Drop Sony Michel? No, I would not. I would not drop Sony Michel. Even if Daryl Henderson comes back, no, because once again, this is the time of the year where you want to start loading up on the backup running backs. Because like we saw, Sony Michel or Daryl Henderson doesn't play. Well, he was active, I think, but didn't even play, which was obvious. I told everybody to not start Daryl Henderson this week. And I actually told a bunch of people, so hopefully they listened to me, to start Sony Michel. I was telling everybody on that show to start Sony Michel, and he had a really good week. But no, because you could have Daryl Henderson miss again. Sony Michel, we've already seen Sony Michel. He's an absolute RB1 without Daryl Henderson. And you want the backup running backs, Samaje Perine. You want, a lot of people are questioning, why would you want Marlon Mack? You think that Nyheim Hines is going to be the lead back for Indianapolis if Jonathan Taylor were to miss? Absolutely not. Nyheim Hines is not going to be the lead back. He's going to stay in his role. He's a pass-catching back that's barely I don't even know if he's 200 pounds. I'm going to check it right now. There's no way Nyheim Hines would be the lead back if something were to happen to Jonathan Taylor. He would be in his exact role. He is, what's his weight? Where's his weight? No, he's not even 100 pounds. He's 195. So be back, yeah, exactly, handcuffs. Be back, dropping, or be picking up the handcuffs. And once again, floor play, your handcuffs. Ceiling play, your opponent's handcuffs. Elijah Mitchell or Aaron Jones? If Elijah Mitchell is good to go, I'm honestly playing Elijah Mitchell. Tyler, help, please. I have Cordell Patterson, David Montgomery, Javonte Henderson, Mattison. Start 4, sit 1. I also have Sony Michel. That's tough. Honestly, I would be going with boy, wow. That is really rough. I might say Cordell Patterson out of those guys. I guess I would probably say it's Daryl Henderson. Not exactly sure what happens with him. Gosh, that's tough. I would probably sit Henderson though. I would sit Henderson. I'm going to change it. I would sit Henderson. Once again, don't have my rankings completely finalized here. Don't have them completely finalized. They will be finalized tomorrow. So make sure you're checking back in with the streams throughout the week. Is it time to drop James Robinson? No way. Do not drop him. Question. Why do I have dementia? Is that how you spell dementia? I don't know. Should I start Tyler Lockett, Tyler Higbee, Tyler Johnson, Tyler Aspire? Definitely Tyler Aspire. He's the beast. Tyler Aspire. He's going to go for 10 catches, 150 yards. He's the two-time. No, Tyler Lockett's a beast, though. Even though he's, hit or miss. Lockett or OBJ? Have to see here. If OBJ gets, I liked OBJ a lot last week, but he was definitely limited. If he gets through practice this week better than what he did last week, I would go with OBJ. But if he's still missing practices, I would go with Tyler Lockett. Any reason to carry 2 quarterbacks? If not, do I drop Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson? No, okay. I would carry 2 quarterbacks for that, because what I would do is I would just play matchups for those guys. I mean, I do think that Kirk Cousins, you could probably play every single week, though, and same with Russell Wilson. But I might just keep both of them and just play matchups every single week. Like this week, I would play Russell Wilson over Kirk Cousins. So that's what I would do. Do you think Saquon will break out again? he can break out anytime, but it really comes down to how good this team is, and they look trash. This team does not look good. Keep, add, or drop Boston, Scott, Gainwell, and Howard. I would keep Howard. Howard would be the one that I would want. I would drop the rest. Ben or Burrow? Burrow. How do you feel about Hubbard and Javonte? I like Javonte. I think he's a stud. I think Hubbard is a solid play this week. I think he's a mid-range RB2 this week. After that, no interest there. You kind of look like Myles Garrett, to be honest. You think so? People do say that we're twins, so I do get that a lot. Thank you. J.D. McKissick or Chase Edmonds. Yo, Jacob becoming a starter. Yo, what's up, Jacob? Getting his question. I guess I haven't even mentioned that once on stream. If you want to become a member, members get their questions answered 100% of the time. 100% of the time, members get their questions answered. You can sign up using ! membership. Sign up. It will pop up a link. Click to sign up as low as $2.99, and you get your questions answered 100% of the time. Thank you, Jacob, for becoming a member. Ask away, brother. Tight end streamer, Higbee, Conklin, or Foster Moreau. I know Foster Moreau was a massive disappointment this week, but I'm going back to him if Darren Waller's out. I'm going back to him. Please help. Do I start Taysom Hill over Aaron Rodgers? No, I would go with Aaron Rodgers. Taysom Hill over Lamar this week? I'm going Lamar. Can I start DK somewhat confidently? Yeah. I mean, I just think that, you know, this offense got a groove going this past week. You know, it took a fake punt to really get something going here. But still, this was a good for them. And I think that going forward, it starts to get a little juice here. And DK is just too good. Keep or drop Moss. I mean, I would drop Moss. I had to drop two. Myers, Harris, Parker, Mitchell, Pat Freiermuth, Russ Wilson, have Kirk Cousins. I would drop Myers, and I would drop that's tough. If you don't play Pat Freiermuth, I would drop him. Rate my lineup this week. We got Rodgers, Eckler, Jacobs, Diggs, T, Gronk, McLaurin. Yeah, I think that's a solid A. That looks really good, Leo. Osborne or Guyton? If I had to pick one, I would go with Guyton. I don't know why it seems different watching Herbert sling that ball, man. Dude has a cannon. He does have a cannon. Herbert does have a cannon. Elijah Moore or Tyler Lockett? Tyler Lockett. Myers and Parker, don't look back. I wouldn't drop Parker. I think that Parker's... he is on bye, so, you know, but if you're not playing Pat Freiermuth, like, there's no need to have him. Like, if you have a solid option at tight end. Burrow or Taysom? Burrow. Do you think Waller or Swift will play this week? I don't think so, to be honest with you. Myers, please explain. Yeah, because, I mean, like, this team is a run-first team, as you saw, 3 passing attempts. Now, of course, the weather was a big factor. But he plays now in a... he has a bye week this week, right? And sure, it depends on your league size. Like, if you're in a 12-team league, like, sure, but, like, do you start Jacoby Myers? If you don't start Jacoby Myers, then once again, this is the part of the year where you trim your fat. You ride with your guys. You ride or die with the guys that got you here all season long. And you keep rolling with that. So you trim the fat. You pick up, I've already said it, backup running backs. You pick up defenses to help you win the playoff, to help you win fantasy playoff matchups. That's what you need to be doing this time of the year. This time of the year, you don't start Jacoby Myers unless you desperately need to. But if you're in the playoffs, chances are you're probably not starting Jacoby Myers. Is AJ Green droppable? Yes, he is. Sir, I have a question. I'm in a 14-team league. I have multiple options as a flex. James Conner, Julio, or Beasley. I would go James Conner. I know that Chase Edmonds is coming back, but still, I don't think he's going to get like the full workload that he would have gotten earlier in the season. I think he's going to get like 75% of it this week. Won't be a full workload, and it'll boost James Conner a little bit this week. And James Conner's a threat to score in every single game, so James Conner for me. Is it safe to drop Minshew holding Hurts and Hill already? Yeah, drop Minshew. They already said that Hill is absolutely the guy, or Hurts is the guy when he comes back. I got Hawk, but I'm going to make playoffs and Hawk has injury issues. If you want, like this is okay. I guess that's a floor play. Okay. Like what I like to, so this is how I like to play fantasy. And if you like to play a conservative, totally do you. I like to play aggressive. Okay. When it comes to this kind of stuff. Now, when it comes to starting sits, if there's a guy who's banged up and is maybe not going to play this week, I like to play a conservative there. But when it comes to my roster lineup, I like to be aggressive. I don't like to hold my own running backs, my backup running backs. No, because if one of those guys goes down, well, obviously I don't hope my guys go down, so I don't want them to go down. I'd rather have a guy on my opponent's team go down, and then I get their backup running back. So I like to hold other teams' backup running backs. I don't like to hold my own. Hold my own would be a safe floor play. Same with, like you're saying with tight end. I don't want Hawkinson to get hurt. I'm not planning on Hawkinson to get hurt. Now, you could be conservative and have a backup tight end, but me, I'm going to be aggressive. The ceiling play is, once again, picking up a running back, picking up a defense. That's the ceiling play. The floor play is a backup tight end where Hawkinson doesn't get hurt. There's nothing that's going to happen there for you. There's no value. Now, you could say the same for, Samaje Perine, but Samaje Perine would be a much better flex than Pat Freiermuth if TJ Hawkinson got hurt compared to Joe Mixon getting hurt. So there's much more reward there for a backup running back or a backup defense. That's just how I look at it. Hillman, Freeman, Foreman, or Chuba? I would go with Chuba. Bold predictions next week. Chargers will make history next Thursday and beat the Chiefs for the second time this year. Hasn't been done in forever. Has never been done? For real? That's sad. Thanks, Tyler. Hope you're having a good night so far. Yo, appreciate you. Hope you're having a good night. So should I start Julio over someone like Mike Williams or Mooney, or just said Julio? No, I would play the other guys. I would go with Mike Williams and Mooney. But double check back. No. Double check. Or check back. Hillard has 12 targets over the last 2 games. Now that's inflated because of one game. I think in one game he had, honestly, maybe 11 targets. And then the next week against the Patriots, I think he had 1 or 2. And Foreman, yeah, I would go with Foreman because Foreman definitely looked like more of their lead back than I would say Hillard. Hillard had that really long touchdown run, but Foreman looked like, honestly, the better running back. And then you also have, now you're going to have possibly, I don't know, I have to check the injury report. I'm assuming you're going to have Jeremy McNichols coming back for this offense, and he's probably going to take some of the receiving work. So it looks like Foreman has the clearest role as this team's early down back. So I'd rather have Foreman. I picked up Colt Steve from waivers last week. WRL, that's a W. They're a good defense. AJ Dillon or Hunt, or should I look at Amir Abdullah? Honestly, I would go with, had to see what the injury report's looking like. If Aaron Jones gets through this practice, full practices, then I'm going to go with Hunt. Rodgers or Stafford? Stafford. Wide receiver pickups this week? Not very good. It depends on who's available in your league, but guys like KJ Osborne, if Devontae Parker is somehow available, who are some of the other top ads at wide receiver position? It's just not. Russell Gage. Pick up Gallup, drop OBJ. No, I would keep OBJ. It's Kyler versus Stafford on Monday night. Those are my quarterbacks. I'm leaning towards Murray. I would go Murray too. Just the rushing floor is just too good with them. Wide receiver pickups this week. I already got that. All right, so once again, if you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to my link tree. My link tree will take over to my YouTube channel. So come on over, get your questions answered, and make sure you hit that follow button as I post new content daily, and also go live over on TikTok exclusively throughout the week as well. And if you're over on YouTube, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you want your questions answered 100% of the time, especially as we get closer to Sunday, where Sunday's incredibly busy, sign up to be a member. All you got to do is type in !membership. It'll pop up a link. Click on the link. It'll take you to sign up as low as $2.99 to sign up to ensure you get your questions answered 100% of the time. So let's get it, baby. Making that push for the championship. Let's get it. When do you think Waller or Swift will come back? It's really tough. I I think that if they miss this week, I mean, there's a real chance that we don't see Swift back this year. I really hope we do, but I do think that there's a legitimate chance. I do think Waller misses this week. I think he comes back next week. But we could see, he could come back this week. So you think Jacobs will get better yeah, absolutely. I think he's the same if the upcoming schedule, he plays some pretty good defenses. I have not looked at his actual playoff schedule, I'll be honest with you. But what I'm looking at is just pure usage. He ran 33 routes this past weekend, which is by far the highest, maybe of his career. I haven't gone back and actually looked at all his previous games. Played on, plus 80% of the snaps. He's already the preferred option around the goal line. He's an absolute RB1 for the rest of the season without Kenyon Drake. But once again, we're talking about backup running backs. Josh Jacobs has shown a history of being injured at times. Peyton Barber would be his backup. So once again, you're getting to the playoffs. You're looking for guys to be adding. Jacoby Myers, Rashad Bateman. You don't need these guys on your team. If you're never playing them, you don't need them on your team. Just eating up space. Pick up one of the backup running backs. Higher ceiling play there. Pick up those guys. Westbrook Akine, worth a start in 12. Who else would you be playing over him? Dawson Knox or Conklin? Dawson Knox. You should do a league where you use punters. It's hella fun. I should. I heard that is pretty fun. I will look into that. Who is that? Noah. I will look into that. Hey. Is Cam or Big Ben the play? Man, I want to say Cam. I hate to say it, but I'm going to go with Cam. It's a really good matchup against Atlanta, Cam. Come on, you can take advantage of it. So I'm going to go with Cam. Gerald Everett, Tyler Conklin, or Cole Kmet? Neither. I would go with Conklin, though. Without Adam Thielen now, a little bit of a upside there around the goal line. Jerry Jeudy, Dillon, or Mooney? I would go with AJ Dillon. Full send my last 26 for KJ. Oh, Scott. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. I don't think KJ Osborne is going to be really that worth it, to be completely honest with you. Guys should not have traded Jacobs for Mike Williams and Mooney, but I was in desperate need of wide receivers. Well, hey, Mike Williams is going to get a boost this week. He played well last week, and he's going to get a boost this week with no Keenan Allen. I traded Bateman for Hawkinson. I took a huge L. You traded Bateman for, you got Hawkinson, or you got Bateman? Claypool or Freeman PPR? Neither one. I would rather go with Freeman there. I have Kittle, so maybe I should drop Pitts and pick up a running back like Barber. Ooh. How many teams is this? How many teams? Pitts has really not been that good. To be completely honest. I won by 68 points. Oh, nearly 69. That would have been awesome. Ikene, Osborne, Guyton, Amon-Ra. One of them? Let me double check here. Let me look here. Once again, very early. Okay. This is just kind of what I've been looking at today. Give you my take here. So who was it? It was KJ, Guyton, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and who's the last guy? Yeah, I would go with KJ Osborne there. I would go with KJ Osborne. Green Bay or Seattle's defense? I would go with Green Bay. Damian Harris, solid flex, 12-team rest of the season. Yeah, he looked good this past game, as long as he's okay. Which he gets a bye, so that's good. 162 to 94. You beat him up, Noah. Nice job. Which wide receiver rankings? What was that? Which wide receiver gets drafted higher next year? Justin Jefferson or Kupp? I think it's really hard to not see Cooper Kupp get drafted as the #1 wide receiver next year. Dude's been on absolute tear. He should be the first wide receiver off the board. Rock Out with the $5 donation. Yo, appreciate you, Rock Out. Would you pick up KJ Osborne and play him this week, even though I got Justin Jefferson? Can also pick up MVS, Westbrook, Treadwell, St. Brown, Guyton. Yeah, I would go with KJ Osborne over all of them. I would go with KJ Osborne. rock out. And appreciate the $5 donation. Thank you very much. Even though you have Justin Jefferson, that doesn't really matter to me. I would go with KJ Osborne. So you think Travis Kelsey will be relevant tight end for the upcoming playoffs in fantasy because he's been terrible the past 2 weeks? He should. This offense as a whole has been pretty bad. But people, let me tell you this. This is why you should be subscribing to Aspire Sports. I would have told you to never, ever draft Travis Kelsey this past year in the first round. Now, maybe you got him in the second round, which wasn't as bad, but still, first round, never draft a tight end in the first round. Never worked out with Gronk. Never worked out with Jimmy Graham. Don't draft I'm going to be doing a live stream on this because I think it's very important that people see this, right? So if we look, I'm going to go to my channel real quick. I got to pull up the video, but it was way, way back in the summer that I had this video out. Actually, I could do this. Let me get this pulled up over here. People are probably going to start. I think that this is really, really important. I want to share with everybody because not a whole lot of people watched the video because I wasn't, not that I'm big now, but I wasn't as big early in the season. But I did my own little case study, okay? Okay, I did my own little case study here. All right. I should pull up the graph. Where's my, oh, here it is. No, that's not it. I need to, hold on. I got to pull up my graph. I'm going to show everybody this real quick, all right? Where is, okay, right here. Let me show everybody this real quick, if you can see it. Okay, real quick. I want everybody to take a look at this real quick, all right? I think this is good stuff. I watch a lot of people start leaving as I'm putting graphs up on the screen, okay? Okay. But real quick, all right, a couple donations real quick. MAZ with the $2 donation. Let's go, baby. Fantasy playoffs. And Gerard? Don't know how to pronounce. I'm terrible at talking. We got Hillard going to be anything moving forward. Had to see with McNichols back. Unfortunately, I know that's not a very good answer, but it is what it is. Like, we got to see what his usage is going to be in this offense. Lucky enough to have too difficult and appreciate the donation. I would definitely hold on to him and see what happens, but I wouldn't feel great about playing him. Lucky enough to hold on, or lucky enough to have a difficult decision in my flex. Need 2 out of Connor, McLaurin, Debo, and D-Hop. If Debo's playing, definitely him, and then I would go with James Conner. Chargers D or Saints D from Josh. I would go Saints D. All right, so real quick. I think this is important stuff that everybody will benefit on, okay? I want to show everybody this, all right? So I did my own little case study. I made a YouTube video on this early in the season, in pre-draft, okay? I was looking at top 20 running backs over the past 5 years and top 20 wide receivers over the past 5 years and what their draft, how they finish at the end of the season. You know, your top 20 guys, top 10, top 5, and your first overall wide receiver running backs, and where they were drafted heading into the season, ADP-wise, okay? And what we see is, look at your running backs here. This is your top 10 running backs, okay? I believe this is running backs. So look at your running backs here. As you can see, your top 20 running backs are largely drafted in the first round, okay? Your top 10, it was like 80% in the first 2 rounds are your top 10 running backs being drafted in the first 2 rounds of your fantasy football drafts. And it's like even higher for the top 5, right? Look at the steady decline. Okay, this is 30. Okay, this is 10. This is 30. Look how important this is. And this is why, because I posed the question. Let me ask everybody this question right now. All right, let me ask everybody this question. Who, you have Fantasy Pros and ESPN, every single year they come out with the same thing. They list the top, the most common league winners, the most common players on fantasy football championship rosters. Let me ask everybody this question. Who are the top 3 players you think that are going to be on that list right now? So who are the top 3 players that are going to be, that are most common on your fantasy football championship rosters? Who are the top 3 players? I'm assuming everybody's going to say Jonathan Taylor. He'll probably be one. Number 2 is probably going to be Cooper Kupp. And number 3, either Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler, I don't know, like Najee Harris maybe, DeAndre Swift prior to him getting hurt is probably the other players, right? So why this is important, let me just say this real quick. Because if you go back and look at wide receivers, look, this is top 20, top 10, top 5 wide receivers over the past 5 years, where they were drafted ADP-wise. Look at the massive difference of wide receivers here. Rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it goes. 6 deep. Look at running backs. First 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Now you will say, okay, Tyler, but there's a lot of running backs drafted early in the draft. Exactly. That's why you need to be drafting running backs. So you hit on the Jonathan Taylors. So you hit on the Austin Eckler. So you hit on the Joe Mixons. Because it does not get better as the draft goes on. You need to be incredibly lucky to hit it. Where wide receiver, there's a lot of value to go around. So this is early stuff that I'm going to be talking about, do videos on as we get into the offseason here. But look at the massive difference in the chart compared to your top 20 wide receivers where they were drafted before the season started, ADP-wise, and then look at your running backs. Massive difference. Your mom? My mom is alive. I was going to say dead, but would be so good. Fournette was a really good draft pick this year to draft late. He's going to break. He was like a 7th rounder. He's going to fall in right here. But those are the outliers, right? Those are outliers. Cooper Kupp, right? Deebo Samuel. Mike Williams, possibly, if he keeps turning around here. He's turning a new leaf. But real quick. So I know it's a little tangent, but I think it's important to show. And like, people don't watch this kind of stuff, but it's really important for your leagues because it's not cookie cutter shit. It's more in depth and kind of dry. But I'll be doing more stuff like this as the season goes on, as we get into the offseason. But let's see. Let me get back to my leagues real quick. I prove your point incorrect. Jokes. No, and that's the thing though, is that here's my, and real quick, I want to answer a couple of these questions. So Taylor, Kupp, Fournette. Oh yeah, Fournette is a good one. I totally forgot about Fournette. Fournette's a really good one. Deebo, Kupp. Thunder Dave with the $5 donation. You'll appreciate the $5 donation. Dude. I saw it under Thunder Dave. Follow up from previous question. Would you rather play Big Ben to stack with Deontay or Cam to stack with DJ Moore? If you're gonna stack, I guess I would go with Big Ben and Deontay stack. I think that's just more reliable than Cam and Moore. But I think it's really solid either way, to be honest with you. I'd rather just go Cam and Deontay. I know that it's not a stack, but my gosh. CMC is definitely... No. Okay, but here's what I want to say. This is what I want to say about what I'm saying, though, is that you play fantasy football to win, right? That's the main goal in fantasy football, okay? From this, when I look at this, clearly you want to be taking your shots in the first 3 rounds of your fantasy football draft to be drafting a top, I would say first 2 rounds to be drafting your top 10 running backs, and your RB1s about 80% of the time are coming in the first 2 rounds. All right. Obviously you're going to get stuck with drafting, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, CMC, but I'd rather take my shot and hit on those guys and hit on your Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler, than take my shot on a Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill and get my wide receivers, your Cooper Kupps, your Adam Thielens, your Deebo Samuels in the middle of the draft. Like, I just think it's so important to take your shots in the beginning of the draft because your RB1, like 90% of the time, is coming in the first 2 rounds of your drafts. So take your shots because there's no other position in fantasy football that's more valuable than having the #1 overall running back in fantasy football. There's no other position that compares on a points per game basis. And that was the other part, is that I talked about this as well. Is like your points per game is also a key thing as well. I don't think I have it. Oh yeah, your points per game. So if you look at the points per game, your running back 1 is averaging 21 points while your wide receiver 1 is 19, or is basically 19. Your running backs 1 through 5 are basically averaging as many points as your wide receiver #1 in fantasy football. And they're averaging nearly 2 points more than your wide receiver 1s. It starts to get less as you get to the wide receiver 20 and RB 20 range. But that's why you take your shots at wide receivers in the middle rounds to draft those guys and take your shots on the running backs higher in your draft. So just a little thing upcoming. I got Swift in the 5th round. He is a beast. Play Cam over Lamar Jackson? No, I wouldn't. Coming off of one of the best TDs ever, wasn't the argument for driving Kelsey in the back? No, it's because the massive scoring difference between tight end. Absolutely. But Kelsey does not compare anywhere close. You drafted Kelsey because he was consistent. You don't want consistent. Like, you want to be drafting ceiling in fantasy football. Being safe in fantasy football, you know, there's arguments. To me, I'm not a safe player. You take the risk. You take the risk on the players because the ultimate goal is to have a high ceiling. Like, you want a high ceiling because you want to win fantasy football. Fantasy football, there's a lot of luck involved. Draft your ceiling players. To me, Travis Kelsey was a very safe pick, and he was not a ceiling guy. He was not going to get anywhere near your top running backs in the draft. That's why I was going 100% of the time running back in the first round. Don't care who it is. Absolutely running back. Gibson leads the NFL in rushing yards and is 4th in the NFL with a fractured shin. He's a beast. I picked up Gronk. Gronk has been a beast. Should I drop Jamaal Williams? No, I would not. Start Brady or Mahomes? I would go with Mahomes, or I would go with Brady. Did you see Breida fumble with was counted as Josh? Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna change it. I really don't think they're gonna change it because I think that's what the NFL counted. Or wait, did you see? If the NFL changes it, like fantasy football will, but if it stays the same, like it won't. I don't think they're going to change it. It should have been Breida, though, that should have got credit for the fumble, not Josh Allen. Should I drop Aiyuk? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, but he's like kind of one of those fringe guys that do you play him? Like, you probably played him this week and you're probably disappointed. So, I'm starting Stafford, Mattison, Jefferson, Deontay, Mark Andrews. I need running back and flex positions. I have Zeke, Henderson, Mitchell, Gallup, Brandon Cooks, and Osborne. So you need a running back. Depending on the injury report, Zeke and Henderson. If Henderson's going to be out again, then I would go Sony Michel. That's who I would go with. I had Hurts and one with Miles, Zeke, Javonte, Henderson. Ooh, that's a solid one. That's a solid lineup. Is Julio worth grabbing? I have Julio... Or I have Jerry Jeudy, Gage, Godwin. I have Thielen now too. Yeah, I think he's worth picking up. Who's your outside top 30 wide receiver this week, rest of the season? Been chasing Galladay all season. Who is your outside top 30 wide receiver this week, rest of the season? Been chasing Galladay. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Like a guy that could finish inside the top 30? Is that what you mean? Drop New England's defense in Kansas City for Seattle and Los Angeles Chargers. I wouldn't drop New England's defense. I would rather play Seattle's defense this week and just play them this week, and roll with them this week, and then wait for New England to come back. Wesley Montgomery, bro. What was his question? I didn't see what the question was. Oh, should I start Elijah Moore or Montgomery? Definitely Montgomery. Yo, what's up? It's 4:20 a.m. I was waking up, went to the toilet, listened to some Magic Fantasy Football Science for 5 minutes, and now... Yo, have a good one, Iron. Appreciate you popping on, dude. KJ Osborne or Jerry Jeudy? Jerry Jeudy. Do I trade JT for Kamara if this week is a must-win? Oh, man. Who else are you starting, Connor? Who else are you starting? Here's my lineup this week. Mahomes, Austin Eckler, Mattison, Deontay Johnson, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelsey, and flex, CH, Cowboys, D, Harrison Butker. On the bench, Andrews, Montgomery, Williams, Swift. Ooh. I would honestly go with Montgomery over CH, personally. That's what I would do. William, that's the only thing I would change. No, kind of potential high ceiling dart throw. Oh, okay. You're talking about the wide receiver. Okay, yeah. Let me look here. So outside the top 30 is what you're looking at. So it depends on who. Okay, so you're talking about guys that probably aren't rostered, I'm assuming, right? I would say Russell Gage. I would say another guy would definitely be KJ Osborne is another guy. If Russell Gage is already rostered, KJ Osborne, because with KJ Osborne, I don't think Thielen's going to return for the fantasy football season. I think he's going to be out. So KJ Osborne steps up. He sees there's more volume to go around. He has a spot here where he could produce, but he could definitely not produce. But there's upside there with him. And then, you know, somebody else that I guess maybe not rostered. If once again, if that's what you're looking for, I would say if it's PPR, I would say Russell Gage, or I would say Amon-Ra St. Brown, but it's like hit or miss every single week. I would go with those two guys. Let me know if they're available. Bro, what are the odds? Wait, let me see. So I take it you're not a fan of this no RB. No, I think no RB is stupid, to be honest with you. I hate no RB. I'm a big guy of, I'll go 3 running backs in the first 3 rounds. I don't care. And I'm doing pretty well in majority of my fantasy leagues because of that. Now, you have to hit the wide receivers in the middle rounds, but like, you could, like, look at my running backs in this situation. Joe Mixon, hit on him. Alvin Kamara, obviously, you can say, you know, hasn't been that good of a hit as of late because he's been hurt. But Joe Mixon, now I have Alexander Mattison. I had DeAndre Swift. I also had Daryl Henderson because Daryl Henderson, this was right when he got hurt and they traded for Sony Michel. So there's a lot of panic. But, like, this is why you draft running backs early, because then I have Tyler Lockett, who's been okay. T. Higgins, who's been serviceable. I had AJ Brown, who's been an absolute bust. But, like, Brandon Cooks has been good. This is, like, I'm a big fan of just going running backs early. A huge fan. Ricky Seals, Jones, or Everett? Ricky Seals, Jones. Bro, what are the odds that I have Indy's and Miami's defense and it's both their bye weeks? Ooh, that is rough. That's rough. What do you think of my lineup? What's your lineup, William? Did you already say it? Oh, your lineup. Oh, I think it's solid. I think overall it's a really solid lineup, William. I think it's really good. You should win this week, depending on who you play, I guess. Osborne is a great D pickup. A great D. Yo, this week there's not many pickups, you know? Waddle over Aiyuk. I poop. Yeah, no, definitely over. So I'm in a 14-team league. Justin Herbert, Najee, Mattison, Mike Williams, Mooney, Travis Kelsey, James Conner, Tennessee. Yeah, I really like, and for a 14-team, I think that's really solid, Jacob. That's really good for a 14-team. Absolutely. Aiyuk or Waddle? I'm Waddle. Well, Waddle doesn't play this week. Are you talking season long? I mean, season long, definitely Waddle, but Waddle is on bye, so Aiyuk. I'm getting bored in our league. I had 3-string playing, and I'm still undefeated. Yo, chill out, MP. We're going to have a draft next year in the beginning of the season like normal leagues do, and I'm going to crush you, all right? I'm going to crush you. Deontay Johnson might be the best wide receiver in the NFL. He's an absolute stud. Now, I say that sarcastically as a Steelers fan, but I will say Deontay Johnson is severely underrated, and he's an absolute beast. Love you, Deontay, if you're watching this, baby. Love you, baby. And also, James Conner. You know, somebody clip this. Somebody clip this. I want somebody to clip this and send it to James Conner. Actually, yeah, somebody clip this. James Conner, okay? Listen, man. You know, I'm from the Erie area, just like you, my guy. I went on our local news station, and Erie News Now. I went on our local news station, and I talked you up, my guy. Talked you up in the preseason. Told everybody that they should be drafting you. Go check the tape. Go check the tape. They said, who's a guy that you're looking at in the middle rounds, later rounds of your drafts that could be a league winner? I said, you, James Conner. Okay? So I expect me and you to get together at some point and hang out and say, you know, Tyler, thanks for putting my name on the map, getting everybody to draft me. I really appreciate it. So somebody clip that and send it to James Conner. Yo, can we see your best team in your leagues? I'm curious. This is definitely by far my best team. I would say this team or, gosh, my other team, I like honestly have not put up under 180 points in like weeks. My team is really good. And it's just like the team as a whole is so good. Oh, I got to change my lineup, but this league is really good. I mean, I have Kirk Cousins, who's been really good. Zeke, you know, as of late hasn't been that great, but still been really good. Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, George Kittle, Sony Michel, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift. But this one is definitely my best team. Where I had Jalen Hurts, James Conner. Like, my running backs are so... This is a 12-team full-point PPR league as well. We drafted earlier, So that's why I was able to get some of these guys. And also, once again, I got Daryl Henderson because this was right when they traded for Sony Michel. But like Tyler Lockett, yeah, hit or miss. T. Higgins, whatever. Michael Gallup, I'm not going to start him this week. But Brandon Cooks, whatever. AJ Brown's been bad. But DeAndre Swift, Henderson, James Conner, Alvin Kamara, Alexander Mattison, Joe Mixon, Jalen Hurts. Like, my team is stacked. My team is stacked in this league. But my other one is really good as well. Those are my best teams. That's what all the losers play. Yo, you're going to be a loser next year. And I'm going to draft Gibson. I'm going to draft Gibson, and I'm going to make you trade your whole team, MP, to get Gibson. Rock out with the $2 donation as well. Chargers or Seahawks, D or Titans. This week I would go, I'm going to go with, that's tough. I'm going to go with the Titans defense this week. Coming off a bye, fire him up. Aiyuk or Gallup? If Debo's out again, I would go with Aiyuk. Otherwise, I would go Gallup. You said Montgomery over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I was just thinking Clyde because the Raiders got eaten up by Williams. I also have Titans D, but I'm starting Dallas. What do you think? I just like Montgomery because I do think that both of them are pretty solid, I guess. Once again, I have to look at this more. It's very early. I spent a lot of time creating TikToks today. So I haven't had a chance to really dive into. Ask me the question tomorrow. Ask me the question tomorrow. I'll be going live tomorrow. I'll be finalizing all my rankings tomorrow. They'll be live. They'll be posted tomorrow. They'll be finalized. So ask me that question tomorrow. Osborne is available, but I'm not sure about a stack on Thursday. I have Mattison. Best option I see is Crowder, Chenault, Treadwell, MVS, Robbie Anderson. Yikes. Appreciate the hell. Yeah, that is yikes. I would go with Osborne, but I mean, you know, it's all rough. It's rough. You think Michael Carter is worth holding? Yes, I do. I would hold on to him. Add Peyton Barber. I think Peyton Barber is a solid add this week. Yes. Once again, as you're gearing up to the playoffs, trim the fat, baby. That's what you got to be doing. Trim the fat. Trim these guys you don't play. You don't play. Do you play Rashad Bateman? And really, his snap share is going down with Sammy Watkins back. The routes ran is not very good. Drop him. Pick up these backup running backs. I had to drop one wide receiver. Julio Jones, Aiyuk, Gallup, or Osborne. I'd rather just drop Osborne out of all those guys. I'd rather have the other guys over him. So my dad said that anyone who drafts James Conner got lucky with what happened so far this year. His argument is that James Conner drafters are just stupid lucky, and he was just there to draft. No, I will disagree, because this one I'm going to say about James Conner is that it was very easy to see James Conner in this role what he has been for the full season. Yeah, you can say touchdowns are fluky, but last year, Kenyon Drake was basically in the same role, and this was my big argument for James Conner in the offseason. Kenyon Drake was in the same exact role James Conner was, and was a top 15 back in fantasy football, because he plays on a really good offense, and they run the ball around the goal line, and he got those touchdowns. He also had nearly 250 carries. James Conner is now in the same realm of him, and the big reason, one of the things why I was a little hesitant on James Conner is because of the injury history in Pittsburgh. But he's clearly the much better goal line back. He really has been a really good goal line back throughout his career. I know he catches some flack because of Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh sucked, okay? Arizona is a much better offense than Pittsburgh has been for the past, 3 years now. So that's why James Conner was a really good pick this year. Titans or Dolphins defense for the playoffs. Titans have some really good matchups. So do the Dolphins. I would just go with Titans because they play this week. I'm playing P. Ryan. Already have. I'm going P. Ryan. Already have my Sony Michel. Yeah, get him. Gainwell, good pick. No, I don't like Gainwell because you're gonna have probably Jordan Howard be coming back after this team's bye week, and I just think that with Jordan Howard back and also Boston Scott was sick, really didn't practice at all week. Gainwell saw a bigger role. I don't think that coming out of the bye week he has a big role, so I don't like Gainwell. Yeah, I love James Conner, 23-yard touchdown. It was. I don't know if you're kidding or not. It was nice, but definitely that was a poor effort on. I forget who was trying to tackle him. Nobody tried to tackle him on that play. Start Taysom Hill. I don't feel great about it. Should a Henderson owner be worried about LA being a committee from now on? No, I don't think so. I think that when Henderson comes back, I think he's going to be the guy. We've seen this prior already in the season when Henderson gets hurt. Sony takes over as the bell cow, and then Henderson takes over once he comes back. Waiver wire pickup Coleman, Gage, or Julio. That's tough. They're like all there. I honestly would go, like, if you're looking for season long, I would go with, I think Russell Gage has the safest floor out of all of them. Tevin Coleman, you maybe have one more good week out of him. And then Julio, there's upside there, but he just can't stay healthy. What is up, Tyler? Yo, what's up, Ozai? Yo, Ozai, told you, Steelers upset pick. Yo, let's get it, baby. Let's go, Steelers. I forget who you picked. Who'd you pick, Ozai? I can't remember. Oh, the one-handed catch. Yes, that was a nice. I forgot that he had the one-handed catch. It was a nice catch, but then I'm saying like he had a broken tackle, which the guy, I don't even know if I don't know if the guy kind of thought that he maybe didn't catch the ball because it was a one-handed catch, so he like didn't really wrap up that well, unless just totally bounced off James Conner, which definitely could have happened as well. But that one-handed catch was nice. I don't think that James Conner's a bad football player. I've never thought that James Conner was a bad football player. It's just health, because unfortunately, had that chemotherapy, and I do think that really messed him up. Congratulations to him for beating it 100%, but I do think that messed up his body a little bit in terms of staying healthy. And then also Pittsburgh, once again, they suck. Pittsburgh sucked. Pittsburgh has sucked offensively for like the past 3 years. They're freaking trash. When James Conner was elite was when that offense was good. Then that offense was terrible. James Conner obviously went down. But I think that James Conner is honestly not that bad of a football player. Hollywood Brown or Terry? Terry. Smash that like button. Let's get it, boys. And ladies and gentlemen, if there's ladies in here. I'm going to go live here for a little bit longer, then I'm going to hop off. I'll be live tomorrow as well. If you're over on TikTok, come on over to YouTube, get your questions answered. All you got to do is click on my profile, go to my link tree. My link tree will take you over to my YouTube channel. Cowboys losing this week to Gibson. Nah, Cowboys going to win. Honestly, though, the Washington football team has been playing better. Nice one. I said the Broncos would win. I was close, though. At Discord, I predicted the Pats would win. That doesn't count, so we're even. So we're an even 5-6. Let's get it. Let's get 5-5. Yeah, 5-5. Any early week goes that you're looking at, or not yet, that you're looking for an upset pick? I haven't really looked at it. God, dude, I wish the Steelers would use Najee more than just blocking. It's ridiculous. I'm in the kind of boat where I just kind of hope that they don't, because I don't want them to overload, because Pittsburgh's not that good. They're not going to go anywhere. So it's kind of like, yo, wow, Ozai comes in chat, and here comes the bots. Ozai, are you a bot, dude? Are you a bot with these bot accounts in here? Naked HD girls? Are you a bot? Sutton or Van Jefferson? Van Jefferson. But what was I going to say? I hope they don't, because I hope Najee just doesn't get loaded up with touches, because the Steelers are not very good. And I hope his career is solid and stays healthy. So yeah. That's on Pitt's bust. I mean, I hate to say it now, but like, now that I'm getting, growing and everything, hopefully you guys stick around for next year. But I definitely would have told you not to draft Cup. Now, I would have said draft TJ Hawkinson, which I guess not that good. I would have said, which hasn't been that good as of late, the past couple of weeks. I would have said I would have said to just wait. Well, my favorite thing this year, what I did a lot of, was go tight end. Really, tight end has been so hit or miss, except really Gronk, but he missed basically like majority of the season, really. Tight end's been so hit or miss, but like I would have said, the guy that I would have said was definitely TJ Hawkinson. If you're gonna go Kyle Pitts, I would have said just draft TJ Hawkinson. Later in the draft, I love Mike Gesicki. As of late, that hasn't been that great. But early in the draft, I would have said draft like Darren Waller would have been the guy, or George Kittle, because he was going later as well. Kyle Pitts was definitely like, I wouldn't say do not draft list, but a guy that I just wasn't drafting. Taysom Hill or Tannehill? Honestly, I would go with Taysom Hill, as long as he's okay. I didn't hear your answer. Green Bay or Seattle's defense? Bears averaging. Feeling better about your Steelers? Yo, Steelers to the Super Bowl. Let's go. The life of the Steelers fan. 1 week, this team sucks. Fire them all. Fire everybody. Next week, Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl. But I would go with Green Bay's defense over Seattle's defense, for the reason that you said. Bears are atrocious. Give me Green Bay. I forgot to mention that I am a Vikings fan. I'm considering finding a new team because the past performances include, dude, we're so unlucky. All the games, the Vikings are like the Chargers. How the Chargers used to be under Phillip Rivers, where it's just like losing those games, if you find a new way to lose every single week, is basically the motto. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Chargers were with Phillip Rivers. Go Browns. No way. Go Steelers. Get out of here. Browns are... No, hey, I don't know. I mean, I really don't care who wins. I don't think the Steelers are any good. I'll be the first to admit it. But hey, I was sitting there Sunday with my dad, and they're like, he was like, yo, I was asking about the game. I was like, yo, you think the Steelers are going to win? He's like, no, they suck. He's a Steelers fan. He's like, they suck. They're going to probably get beat. First 10 minutes, you're going to want to turn the game off is what he was saying. I was like, bet. So I loaded up a bet, and I put 20. It was only $20. I didn't feel overly confident, but I put a same game parlay. I'll send you the screenshots if you really want to see. Steelers money line. Big Ben over 1.5 passing touchdowns. That's what the line was. And Deontay Johnson, I believe his was 61.5 or maybe 70 receiving yards. 71.5, I believe it was, receiving yards. Put that in. Yo. Bet $20, won $140. Let's get it, baby. Let's go, Steelers. Let's go. Dog pound, more like clown pound. Hey. Who do you think has a better remainder of the season, Barkley or Tannehill? What is this, super flex? I mean, I would always start a quarterback, Tannehill. It must have been on the websites. I was on my bad tally. Good one, Ozai. Should I hold on to Sony? Absolutely hold on to Sony. Who would you start, Chase Edmonds over Jones, Chuba, Aiyuk, or Osborne? I would go over Osborne, yes. I kind of want to see the Bengals to win the conference, to be honest. I don't want the Patriots to win. I'm sorry if anybody's a Patriots fan. I'm tired of watching the Patriots go to the Super Bowl every other year. My God. Please, anybody but the Patriots. I don't even care if it's the Chiefs. At least the Chiefs are entertaining. The Patriots are like, early Tom Brady, where it's a whole lot of defense and not a whole lot of offense. Let me see the 40 points a game. I want to see that right now. And I don't want to see the Patriots back again. Gosh, anybody but them. I'm just a hater. What would you... Let me see. Connor, Cook, and Jamar for Deontay and Najee. I would do that, Landy. Give me my Steelers players, baby. Let's get it. Should I start Chuba this week? I think he's a solid start. Depends on your other options. Start Mike Will going forward. I definitely would this week if Keenan Allen's going to be out. Absolutely. I have no upset picks yet, but I was laughing earlier about the predictions I made the past couple of weeks about the Bucs versus the Pats. Made a couple weeks ago. What did you say? Did you say the Bucs or did you say the Pats, Ozai? Steelers fans happy after one ween. Washington fans watching a 4-game winning streak, which will extend to a 9-game. Yo, Washington football team's so overrated. They're gonna get smashed this week, bro, against the Dallas Cowboys. Yo, Tyler had the biggest boom week ever. Brady, Mitchell, or Sony Michel, Patterson, Higgins, Lockett, Kittle, Lamb. Ooh. Yo, who was telling you to... Yo, I will say, I don't get them right all the time. Don't get them right. I wish I did, obviously. But I was telling, like, literally everybody on my stream on Sunday to play Sony Michel. I was telling everybody. And a lot of people were like, why are you so high on Sony Michel? Why are you so high on Sony Michel? I told you, like, don't play Daryl Henderson. He was active, but didn't even play. Sony Michel without Daryl Henderson is the absolute locked and loaded RB1. Of course, if he scores a touchdown, but the volume's there. How are my chances with Brady as my quarterback? Monty, Javonte Williams, Kamara, Najee. Ooh, that's really good. Pitts, Pittman, AJ Brown, CDT as my wide receivers, tight end. I think that's really solid, JML Sports. Absolutely, that looks really good. This man was 100% right on Higgins. I like Higgins as well. Gallup or Jerry Jeudy? Jerry Jeudy. Should I start Aaron Jones? I would. Depends on who else you have. You should search up We Hoopin' on TikTok. The kid is the biggest Ravens fan. No, I already did. I've already made, the past 2 days, I made 2 videos. The one was, he makes that video of, the Ravens or the Steelers thinking they have an easy win. Oh, Roger. And I made a TikTok on that video that he made. And I just kind of like popped out in my Big Ben gear, smiling at the camera. And then the other one, I made one today of he made a videos like say bass without the B. And he was like ass. And then it went to a clip of Ben Roethlisberger falling over. And then I couldn't stitch it with the video. So I had to make a video. I had to use download the video and then put it in Premiere Pro. Put his video, like have his video, and then stitch my own video. And it was of Lamar Jackson in the game on Sunday, which was he bailed out the Steelers defense. Thank you, Lamar. But off his back foot, throwing the ball up in the end zone when they're on the goal line and gets picked off. Yo, I sent that to him. We hooping. Yo, we're going to start a little rivalry, even though he has like 500,000 followers on TikTok. That dude is massive on TikTok. But I did make 2 stitches with him. He is a big Ravens fan. Landon with the $2 donation. We got drop Logan Thomas. Also have Pitts and Schultz. Yeah, I would drop them. If you have those 2 guys, I would just go with those 2 guys on a week-to-week basis. I don't know. How long did they say Thomas is out for? Did they say it? Is it like week-to-week? I know he avoided his ACL. Oh, he went to IR. Is he officially out for season then? Because if he was placed on IR twice, or was he placed on IR? Rock out. What's your formula to predicting breakouts? I mean, there's no formula. I would say that, well, I guess there's somewhat of a formula. Fantasy football is incredibly difficult to try to predict. And appreciate you landed with the $2 donation. Rock out. Appreciate you with the $2 donation. It depends on what position you're looking at. So like with Josh Jacobs, I wasn't as high on him this week because I thought it was going to be a tougher matchup. And then you had Kenyon Drake get hurt, which obviously really helped Josh Jacobs. But with Josh Jacobs, it was easy to see him slowly like really breaking out into like a really rock solid RB1 because the biggest indicator for running backs is always going to be the route participation. When you start to see the running backs and their route participation go up, it's a really big indicator that they're going to be breaking out. Snap share is another one. Your weighted opportunities, the amount your RB touches percentage in the backfield, like what's their running back share. All those are really good indicators for running backs. Also, if you're looking at just a pure football perspective of breakout players, your yards per carry is a really good indicator. Yards after contact is a good indicator. And then also your runs of 10 yards or more show that they're explosive. So those are 3 really good indicators for a real life football player to break out at the running back position. When you're looking at the wide receiver position, you're looking for breakout players. You're looking at guys who have high air yard share, are having a lot of route participation as well, high snap percentage, that kind of stuff as well. The red zone target share, you want guys there. Those are the indicators really for breakout wide receivers. Also look at the quality of targets. Like if you have a wide receiver who's scoring a good amount of points, but the quality of targets is low, like the quarterback actually throwing the ball and is the ball catchable. Like if that goes up a little bit, then you have a really big breakout potential there for a guy. So those are all like, I know I went on quite a tangent, but all really good indicators of guys breaking out. Hello, the only way Washington football team wins is if Fitzmagic comes back. Yo, he's done. I saw that he officially got the hip surgery. He's probably done forever. If Kittle was not injury prone, he would be the best tight end in the league. Better than, yes. I think that Kittle is the best overall tight end in the league, 100%. And you have the injury concerns. If he had Patrick Mahomes throwing the football, he'd be putting up Travis Kelsey numbers. That's not to say that Travis Kelsey isn't one of the best tight ends. Absolutely is. But George Kittle is probably the best. And I said Mike Gesicki earlier. Although Mike Gesicki, I'm telling you, Mike Gesicki is playing like literally every single snap out of the slot this year. He's not a true tight end. I think he's more of like this hybrid that we're going to start to see. That's going to kind of play the slot where they're like a tight end mixed with a wide receiver. I think that's going to be the new breed of players in the coming years. But in terms of pure tight end Gesicki is, or Kittle is probably, I would say not easily, I would say the best tight end in the league overall. Parker, I think that him and Kelsey are very similar just because of the little targets, and Kelsey recently hasn't been so. I think George Kittle is a much better blocker than Travis Kelce, and that's why he's the best overall tight end. I don't think it's much of a difference in terms of their ability of route running, and even George Kittle. Now, I'd say after the catch, they're probably about the same, but the run blocking just gives a big advantage to me for Kittle. And Landon with another $2 donation. Yo, appreciate you, brother, with the $2 donation. Seattle or Denver's defense, thanks for all the help. No problem. I would go with Seattle's defense this week against Houston. Houston is trash, and I think this team is like really packing it up. Already looking for 2022. Who's going to be our starting quarterback? This team has officially packed it up, so yeah. Replace Pitts for Higbee, Freiermuth, or Conklin, or just hope he pops off. I clinched this week. I would just hope he pops off. The other guy that I would want would be Freiermuth. But yeah. Do I waste the roster spot on Ingram? I think that Ingram's fine because we've seen Ingram without Alvin Kamara. Like he's an absolute, he has RB1 potential. This past week it was bad, yeah. Only scored 3 points, absolute bust play, but that's what happens sometimes. I think that he's definitely worth a roster spot. Waller better. No way Waller is not better. Trade could be vetoed, but I traded. Why? Listen, you need to get out of leagues that still veto trades. That's lame. But I traded Saquon for Elijah Moore and Kareem Hunt. Needed depth, wide receiver. I think that's a solid trade. I don't think that trade should be vetoed. Kareem Hunt or Devontae Freeman, Kareem Hunt, Chuba or Amir Abdullah, Chuba this week. I would just, I would rather pick Kelsey because, yeah. Well, I would say the 100% too, but you're talking about fantasy football. I think that who said that? Parker? I think Parker's talking real life football. Like imagine it. Who would you rather have, Travis Kelsey or Kittle? If Mahomes was the quarterback and Mahomes had the same chemistry that he has with Kelsey as he would with Kittle, like he has the same chemistry. I would take Kittle because I think that Kittle is just the better overall tight end. So that's what, now, if you're talking fantasy, definitely Kelsey because he has Mahomes. Russell Gage or Cole Beasley? I would go with Russell. I would go with Cole Beasley, honestly. I'm out of the playoffs. If I lose, I come in last and have punishment, but I am playing my brother, and if he loses, he misses playoffs. It makes it, ooh, offered $100 for me to lose. Do I do it? What is your punishment, Jake? What's your punishment? If I get Deontay, you think this is good? Kyler, Gibson, Kamara, Deontay, T. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful lineup, Landy. Absolutely looks really good. Hunter, Javonte. Javonte, as long as I would go Javonte. Gibson, first in NFC, tied for first most broken tackles with JT, third most yards at the contact, top 5. And people have been hating on Washington football team. They beat the Raiders and let them score 15. Cowboys scored 36 on them. Yo, I already said it. Washington football team's been playing pretty well. They have been playing pretty well as of late. Pitts or Ertz. I also have Kyler and D-Hop, but D-Hop isn't a must-start for me. If you want to go with the stack, absolutely go with Ertz. I would go with Ertz. Drink a smoothie. Every person gets to put one ingredient in it. Like, is there... Like, does it have to be a food? Like, actual food, though, I'm assuming? They have to put actual food in it? Can't be something other than a food? Like shit? Has to be actual food, right? Barkley, CEH, or Terry? I would go with Terry this week. Actually, I'm going with CEH. I would go CEH. Is KJ Osborne a good pickup? If you're going to play him, yeah. But if you're not going to play him, I wouldn't pick him up. What's your Super Bowl predictions right now? I'm going with what I said in the beginning of the season, Tampa Bay and Kansas City. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Kansas City, they're trash. Yo, the defense has been playing really well. The offense is not there. I think the offense is going to figure itself out. I just think there's way too much talent, and they're going to go there. Tyler, really want to skip over the facts. The football team, the best team in the NFL. Yeah, right. The Steelers are, my guy. The Steelers are the best team in the NFL. How are my chances with Brady? No, I already answered this. I think JML's, your team is really good. I think your team is really solid. I think you have a really good team, especially when AJ Brown comes back. Only rule is it has to be somewhat edible so you don't go to the hospital. Not worth it. I would try to beat your brother. Not worth it. Unless you really think that you're going to lose this week, there's really not a whole lot of chance. Then I take $100 and just wait till next year. Is Seals Jones worth a pickup? Need a tight end? Yes, he is. Russell Gage or KJ Osborne? I'd rather have Russell Gage. Gage or Osborne? Gage. Pick one tight end rest of the season. Fant, Conklin, Komet, Everett, Ricky Seals. I would go with Ricky Seals. Should I trade Godwin for a wide receiver 2 and RB2? I got Cook injured and Michael Carter injured and Thielen injured. Yeah, I would. I would try to do that. Yes. Who has the best TD celebration? Justin Jefferson? Probably, but like everybody kind of takes his now. I would say that Joe Mixon has good ones. I really like Joe Mixon. He always has different ones every single week. I like Joe Mixon. And he celebrates with the team. He had that Temptations one. He had the one with T. Higgins. I can't remember what exactly they did. But I like Joe Mixon's. I think his are really solid. My team is Brady, Mixon, Jones, Deontay, Evans, Pitts, Saquon, Najee, Dallas D, Boswell. I have Terry and CEH on the bench, but I'm on a 4-game losing streak. What should I do? Just keep going. I think that team is good enough to win. Just probably have been getting unlucky. I would start CEH. I would start CEH over Saquon is what I would do for sure. And this week I would go with CEH over Saquon. Can't wait for Justin Jefferson to get 21 catches. You wish, MP. The Steelers are going to clamp him down. Probably not, but Steelers still going to win, though. Best team in the league with 5 L's by less than 2 points. L season for pride. Oh, that's you're talking fantasy. This is this league right now for me. Sounds like this league where if I win, I'm in the playoffs, but I'm second in points per game. Here, let's go over to the league. We'll look at the overall league. So I'm second in points, total points, but I am first. First by, oh no, I'm not first anymore. MASH officially passed me. Okay, so I'm second in points against. But look at this. Look at the massive difference of points against. This is the dude he's in first, or he's in second place. He has the most points for. He's beating me by what is that, like 40? Around 40 points. And then, but look at the massive points against. He has 1,282 points against. I have 1,594. Over 300 points against, right? Like, that's what it comes down to head-to-head sometimes. Like, there's nothing that you can do in head-to-head when it's like that. You know what I mean? There's nothing that you can do. My team has been really solid all season long. It's just literally every single week I play against the highest scoring team. Every single week, it seems like it. Even this week. I feel bad for this guy because he would have had a solid week against me this week. But he just played me. I put up 155. Thank God I put up 155. But like, he still put up a solid week against like everybody else in the league. That's been my luck this season in this league. Like, literally has been my luck this year. And really has been his luck, because if you look at his points against, he has a decent amount of points for, but points against is really high for him as well. Just how it goes, unfortunately, in fantasy. Did you see OBJ's self-revive celebration in the past week? Bro, I was dying. No, I did not. I'll have to check it out. I'll go look at it after this. I'll go check it out after this stream. Russell Wilson or Tannehill? I would go with Russell Wilson. And real quick, I want to say this. If you're hanging out, appreciate you. You're the real MVPs out there. But I do want to say this. Jacob just signed up to be a member today. Jacob, I got to ask you, how is it being a member? You get your questions answered 100% of the time, right? Which is great. So, tell everybody, it's worth it. Also, Ozai out there, I see is in chat as well. Being a member is totally worth it. It's as low as $2.99 for a month. You get it for a month. And you get your questions answered 100% every single time. And especially as we approach the playoffs, don't you want your questions answered 100% of the time by somebody who does a lot of research? I would say so. Who's your new Super Bowl prediction? Has not changed. I'm still going with Tampa Bay and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not changing it. Thank you, sir. Stay safe. Good night. You too. Ertz or Conklin? Ertz. How do we feel about Sony Michel moving forward? I absolutely keep him on your team. Bro, I'm coming every day, seriously. That's what's up. Parker or Tyler is the GOAT, says Parker. Streams are awesome. Yo, appreciate it. Thank you guys. You think Swift comes back? I don't think this week. I don't think he comes back, and I think that there's a real chance he could miss the rest of the season. How do you feel about Mari Cooper this week? I like him more because I don't imagine he'll be on a snap count. I didn't like him last week because of the snap count. This week, I like it. I actually posted a TikTok about my season. If you want to check it out, I follow you. Yeah, tag me in it. I'll check it out, Jake. You know, at me. You follow me on TikTok, right? You said you follow me. Yeah, just at me. I'll check it out. Tyler the GOAT in chat. I try to answer everybody. I try to. I need a tight end with Logan Thomas being doubtful. Anyone that you can see that I can try to pick up. Ricky Seals, I would say, would be one. Cole Kmet, you know, Conklin is another one. Those kind of guys. Hey man, how's your week going so far? Mine's go. It's going well. Reese, how you doing? Firstly, CH Javonte. I know it depends on. Yeah, if MG3 is out, definitely Javonte. Otherwise, I would probably go CH. And then Terry or Aiyuk, I would go with Terry, Lockett, or Aiyuk. I would go with Terry. And then which one for the flex? Honestly, I would go with Javonte at flex. So CH, Javonte, and Terry. Cowboys or Panthers defense? I'm going with the. I gotta double check this. Ooh, that's close. Let me double check. Hold on one sec. Let me get this pulled up. I'm going with Cowboys. I'm going with the Cowboys defense. Boyd good for 10 points. Around, I would say like 7. If you're in full point PPR, 10 is solid, yeah. Chuba is start this week? Yes, he is. Yeah, Jake, just at me. I'll check it out. All right, I'll check it out. Do you like the Chargers D against From? Huh? From. Oh, yeah. Okay. What? Daniel Jones is out? He's going to be out again? Is he out for season? I actually didn't see. Unlikely to play versus the Chargers. Yeah, I like the Chargers defense, yeah. I totally forgot about that. Thank you for bringing it up. I mean, I definitely would have looked into that tomorrow, but I'm doing well, man. Thanks for the help. God bless. Yo, you too, Reese. Have a good one, my guy. What are the best low-key pickups this week? Once again, I already said this, like, pick up backup running backs. A guy that I would be picking up is going to be Jermichael Hasty. If you have Elijah Mitchell missing this week and Jeff Wilson got hurt, you know, Elijah Mitchell could be in a spot where he sees really good volume. Devontae Foreman, Dylan, or Freeman? Dylan. Do I keep Bateman in my 16-team league? I'd probably pick up KJ, but is Bateman really that bad? No, I would just hang on to Bateman. Yeah, I would. Who's your number one defense this week? My number one defense, let me see. The Denver Broncos. Actually, let me double check that. Once again, this is early. Yeah, Denver. Thanks, man. Love the content. Yo, appreciate it. Dang, what's up with James Robinson? He's just hurt. Really, that's the thing. He's just hurt. Which NFL teams has the best set of wide receivers in your opinion? I thought Dallas in the beginning of the season. Yeah, I would say Dallas. I would say, who was I just gonna say? Oh, Tampa Bay. The Bengals, really good set of wide receivers there. I'd have to really look at it. Honestly, I'm a homer, but I'm going to say the Steelers too. I think it's a good young core with Juju as well. If they just had a quarterback that could actually throw a decent amount, they would be up there as well. Freiermuth or Seals? I would go with Freiermuth. Is it worth it that I did $5 a month last week? It's worth it. Oh, okay. It's worth it. I did $5 a month last week. I had Mark Eden, Raiders in the flex. He told me to switch to Montgomery in the flex, and I won by a ton. Yo, you had Mark Andrews. Yeah, and I told you to switch to Montgomery. Let's get it, baby. That right there was worth the $5. You know what I'm saying? One good call a month. I feel like I'm better than one good call, but I do think that. Am I always right? No, but I put a lot of time and effort into it. So, wipe amount percentage for Hasty. For Fab. How much do you have left, Scott? Like, I want to put in a ton, unless you really need somebody this week. Also, I'm not sure if Elijah Mitchell, so it's kind of like iffy. I would put in like 10%. I would honestly probably even like less than that. But if you really need a play and you're kind of like desperate, I guess I would put in 10%. But it also depends on how much you have left. James Robinson, Daryl Henderson, or Gronk at the flex with Kelsey as my tight end. I would honestly go with Gronk. Unless James Robinson practice. If James Robinson and Daryl Henderson practice in full, I would go with them. Otherwise, I would just go with Gronk. Chargers or Seahawks or Saints defense. Can you rank them, please? Yeah, Saints. Let me see here. Saints, Chargers, Seattle. Saints, Chargers, Seattle's. Who's your favorite NFL player? I have a feeling it's I mean, my favorite player is going to be Big Ben. I'm just a Homer Steelers fan, so Big Ben, and then Deontay is what I would say, and then TJ Watt. If I had to pick a non-Steelers player, I guess right now I'd say DeAndre Swift. I love DeAndre Swift. But, you know, before MP was a big Antonio Gibson fan, I was a big Antonio Gibson fan last year. And it's not that I didn't love Antonio Gibson as a player. It's just the usage. Didn't love that. But I love Antonio Gibson's game. I have 26 and I've lost CMC and Carson, etc. Oof. Yeah, I don't feel great about Hasty. I would just put like 10% down of that. I don't feel great about it, but he's somebody that might be an RB1, but obviously could easily not be. So if you're looking for, like, who are some other running backs that are available, Scott? Chargers or Seahawks or Saints defense? I said Saints. I would go Saints, Chargers, Seahawks. Moreau, Seals, or Fan? Honestly, I'm firing up Moreau again. I think as long as Waller misses. I know that he was disappointing last week, but I'm going to fire him up. Is Elijah Moore trade high right now, or should I keep him? I would keep him. Unless you can get him for a really... always be sending is the motto. If you can get something really good, yeah. I mean, obviously send it. Hey, man, pick 3 if you may. AJ Dillon, Barkley, Javonte Williams, and Najee. I know it's been rough with Barkley. All right, I'm gonna go with AJ Dillon, Javonte Williams, and Najee. If Akeem Hicks is out, if Hicks is not out, then I'm gonna go with Barkley. Is Landry trustworthy? I want to say trustworthy. No. Is he startable? Yeah. Who is the better LSU wide receiver? And going forward, who do you think will be better in the upcoming seasons? So you talking, like, I'm assuming you're talking Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase? Is that what you mean? Honestly, me personally, I think I don't know, it's really close. I would say Justin Jefferson. Just because you have less to go around with Justin Jefferson. With Jamar Chase, you have T. Higgins, who T. Higgins probably going to be there for a long time with Jamar Chase. And then you also have Tyler Boyd, who I don't think Tyler Boyd is no pushover either. I think Tyler Boyd's really solid as well. Then you obviously have Joe Mixon as well. And you have, an aging Adam Thielen. Dalvin Cook is aging. You really have Thielen out there, and he's kind of the guy, or you have Justin Jefferson out there, and he's kind of just the guy. You know what I mean? So I would rather have Justin Jefferson. Homer and Penny also. I would actually go with Penny. Penny would be my top pickup. I would go with Penny. And with what you have right now, I would probably put like 25% down on Penny. Unless you're absolutely desperate, then, put 50%. I think that there's a real chance Penny could be the RB1 in this offense. He can stay healthy. He can stay healthy and keep producing. Homer had that long run. That was about it. I mean, he was involved in receiving a little bit, but yeah. Currently in second place, should win my league. Hopefully you can lead the way. I'll try my best. Fryermuth or Cook? Fryermuth. Michael Gallup, Van Jefferson, or Jarvis Landry? I would go with Van Jefferson. Honestly, no, I'm gonna go with Jarvis Landry. Ask me later in the week. I gotta finalize my rankings. They're not finalized. I think Ridley is done forever. You think so? That would be sad if he was. I mean, do what you gotta do, but I do think that he's gonna be done this season. I don't know if you said it, but desperately need an RB2. I have Gibson at 1. Swift is hurt, so who should I get? Like, pick up Zlat. Who are some guys that are available? All right, I'm going to go live here for a few more moments, and then I'm going to hop off. Kaysen, what is that? Drop Ridley? Yeah, I think that Ridley is safe to drop. Should I start Fat Chubb against the Ravens? Last time he dropped 5.9. I do think that this week he's healthier. I had the bye week. I would start him. Depends on your other options, but if they're not that good, yes, I would. Renfrow or McLaurin? Gage or Aiyuk? Aiyuk. Should I start Hillard? Who do you have? Have a good night, Tyler. Yo, you too, Ozai. Appreciate you stopping by, my guy. Drop Ridley? I would drop Ridley, yes. You the man. No, you the man. Today was a good stream. Appreciate everybody by stopping by, you know? What's up, man? Would you drop Colts defense while on buy or keep? I mean, I would... If you don't... Like, who are you going to be picking up? You got to pick somebody... Like, if you need to pick somebody up, then yeah. But if you don't need to pick anybody up, I would just leave them on your roster. Literally just Amir Abdullah and a bunch of backups. I would pick up Amir Abdullah. I think that there's potential there with Amir Abdullah. If you're in a PPR league, there's definitely potential there. Okay, before you go, thanks for awesome advice on my fantasy team. You have a wonderful night, and I'll see you tomorrow's stream. What time are you going live? Around the same time. I'll be going live tomorrow. Around like 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Around that range is usually when I go live. So, and appreciate you, signing up today to be a member, Jacob, and also hanging out as well. Thank you. Why Kareem Hunt over Devontae Freeman when Hunt is a backup and Freeman starts? Because Kareem Hunt, it doesn't matter that he's a backup. Kareem Hunt is very efficient with his touches. Plays on a team that's is a very run heavy team. Catches the ball. Freeman, I mean, you're just kind of hoping he scores a touchdown. This is a tougher matchup against Cleveland's front, who's actually been pretty solid against the run this year. So I'm going with Kareem Hunt, and I think the Browns win this game. I think the Browns win. Literally just Amir Abdullah. Also, who is the better defense, Miami or the Colts? Like, overall, you're saying overall? Miami's been playing really solid as of late. I would say the Colts, but Miami, man, they're finally looking like the team that I thought they were going to be this season. Once again, I'll say this. I said it. They're my dark horse to win the Super Bowl, to go to the Super Bowl this year. Once again, dark horse. I'm not talking, people in the beginning of the season. Oh, the Rams are my dark horse. Like, that's not a dark horse. Like, I'm talking a legit dark horse that wasn't very good last year that could turn the tables and actually go. They were a dark horse for me. Obviously, true dark horse. But I think that they're actually looking pretty solid right now. They look good. Thoughts on Zeke and Robinson this week? Have to check the injury report to see what's going on with them. As long as they're practicing, okay. But if they're not practicing, again, I don't feel great about it. Hi, Foreman or Robinson. If Robinson is practicing, Robinson. Okay, thanks. No problem, Jake. I have to either start Mooney or drop to pick up Scantling, Van Jefferson, or Osborne. I would just start Mooney. You mean leave the Colts on my roster and don't play a D? Thanks in advance. No. I would not. Okay. No, if you don't have any other defense, then no. I wouldn't do that. I would pick up a defense and I would just drop the Colts defense, yes. And then just pick up a defense and play them. Thoughts on Zeke and Robinson this week? Once again, just depends on if they practice. So, all right. So I'm going to hop off for the night. I'm going to be live tomorrow night. Appreciate everybody for stopping by and hanging out. Means a lot. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow if you're over on TikTok. Get notified when I go live. And everybody have a wonderful evening. As I get a random hair falling on my face. What the hell is this? All right, peace out, people. Peace.